Yo, Natsu here, and welcome to part 2 of What If Deku Had a Linked Soul. For the guy that keeps asking in the comments when I'm making them, like I had said, I'm gonna try to do them at least 1 or 2 weeks interval. If I can't, I'm sorry. If you keep asking every single time, I'm not sure if I'm just gonna want to continue like that. I don't want to be pushed. Thank you. So, in the first part, we ended it at the beach right after Deku and Bakugo used One for All, and they were waiting for Recover Girl to arrive, while All Might and Bakugo were wondering what the hell happened. But started to think maybe the reason why Deku has explosion isn't because they had the same quirk. Anyways, we're going to skip to the start of UA. So, at the entrance exam, Deku doesn't trip. Like, by this point, he's way too confident. Him and Bakugo are pretty close friends, though they still bother each other. They fight a lot. And both of them are able to partially use One for All without killing themselves. Also, both of them are pretty strong, obviously. They've been trained by All Might and were training before then on top of that. So, both of them are only able to, well, when they actually use a partial bit, because thanks to both of them actually having One for All for One, no, One for All. My brain just fried, sorry. They were able to see that if you lower the power, there's less damage. So both of them started to use less of the strength, thanks to actually having visual confirmation from Bakugo's side that with less power does mean less damage. Both of them have similar amount of defensive capacities for their body, so Bakugo is able to use, without feeling any pain, about 8%. Though remember, that's half the power of Deku's, so for Deku, who can use it at full power, can only use 4%. Though as both of them train the quirk, they will try to basically equalize in power over time from both of the growths, basically helping the lower one get stronger faster. Same for how Bakugo's explosions were twice as much as Deku's, but over time Deku's became like only 3/4 of Bakugo's explosions, basically showing that Deku's is growing faster to try and catch up. Though the only reason that can happen is because Deku trained it like hell. Because if two people are training it at the exact same speed for a single thing, of course it won't grow that much differently. But anyways. So, written exam. Both of them pass with flying colors. They're basically some of the most intelligent in their... well, they were some of the most intelligent in their classes, and once in UA, there's like Bakugo, who's still always first in the class in terms of intelligence, so yeah, that won't really change much. One thing that does change is that Deku isn't mumbling in the assembly. Bakugo, Bakugo and him kind of just think similarly, but right now they're just thinking of, yeah, okay, I just need to get as many points as possible. Ida does ask about the zero pointer, which it gets told about, and they get sent to the cities. Once again, Bakugo and Deku are separated, which basically means nobody steals from anyone. Sorry about that. I'm dead tired. And I've got to work tomorrow. Anyways, Deku doesn't talk to Ochako, meaning Ida doesn't bother Deku. And so we go to when President Mike starts counting down. Ida gets ready, and then both Deku and Bakugo, while hearing it, both set themselves in the exact same position, pushing one for all through their legs, and preparing explosions. When the countdown reaches 0 and that the door opens, both of them blast off. But like, really fucking fast. Using both the strength of One for All and then pushing themselves further with explosions, basically mean they're going pretty fucking fast and at the same time destroying every single machine in their wake. Everyone from both cities were surprised, but the ones who were looking at the cameras were even more, because both of them basically prepared in the exact same way. In their document, they had seen that they have extremely similar quirks, to the point where they actually have the exact same, just seemingly that one has the explosions that are stronger, while the other one has the physical enhancement that can be better. Basically, both of them have superpower and explosions in their documents, but explaining at least that explosion is better on Bakugo's side, while Deku has a better amount of power from superpower, which is the false name of the quirk they gave it, well, that they gave One for All when Deku was at UA, so let's just say that both of them keep getting a pretty fucking similar amount of points. At this point, they even start thinking the same as I explained before. So, their tactics kind of look nearly identical, just with the small difference that Deku uses more One for All on attacking, while Bakugo uses more explosions. Which the only reason for the difference is that Deku, even though him and Bakugo have a similar amount of control over explosions, and One for All, Deku understands that One for All originates from him. He should use that more. It is his quirk now. And Bakugo understands that he gained One for All from Deku getting it, meaning that his quirk is still explosions. They still use both of them a great amount. It's just that the one that they see as their own is what they use more of. Mostly since they want to keep that distinctions because they feel like if they use both at the same amount of level, they would just be the same person, and they really don't like that. Oh, Bakugo worst, but still. Over time, their points keep racking up, where both Deku and Bakugo help other students, which gives them a few more points. Which, the only reason this Bakugo does that is once again because he started to think more like Deku, which is partially an effect of their linked soul, but mostly just because of how long they were basically together while training their quirks. So, when the 0 point arrives, now is the big distinction. Ochako is in danger on Deku's side, while Bakugo just see a giant robot coming up. Deku's first instinct is to save Ochako, then destroy the robot. Bakugo just destroys the robot by doing something that the teachers weren't prepared to see. Bakugo closed his fist, charged a punch, and while pushing it forward, opened his hand to push out as much sweat and explosions as possible, which basically sent a shockwave on top of the explosion that basically destroyed the robot and pushing some of the pieces across the entire fake city of his. On Deku's side, his first thing was getting to Ochako, removing the rubble, and then bringing her back towards the entrance. Giving her to Ida, who was just standing there since the moment he saw Deku running towards her. And then Deku turned around and did something pretty much identical to Bakugo's. So, yeah, they basically saw how the two are mentally identical in their ways of understanding how to kill something big like that. One big attack that does a lot of damage. The one single difference is that for Deku's, they didn't go as far because he was further from the robot, since he didn't run back towards the robot after bringing Ochako back to Ida. He just blew it up from there. Ochako was grateful to Deku, who in this one isn't passed out, and the only injury he has is, well, the same as Bakugo has right now. They basically went a bit past their limits, and so their hands are a bit tingly. But that's basically the maximum they have for damage, since they had time to learn to control one for all. After they left, both of them basically convenienced back together to talk, and both of them were a bit pissed hearing the other one talk about how they damaged the robot, destroyed the robots, whatever, because they just realized they were doing the exact same thing again, with Bakugo being the first one to punish Deku, basically saying, "Stop copying me, you nerd!" With Deku just laughing it off. Of course, he didn't use One for All for that. Though he did think of doing that. Anyways, waiting for the letter to arrive, when it did, they basically saw that Bakugo had more points for a singular reason. Deku saved Ochako. Bakugo and Deku before Ochako saved about the same amount of people with about the same amount of robot destroyed. Bakugo had more robots destroyed while Deku had more people saved, but it basically equalized until Ochako. Since the 0 pointer gave, 0 points, that one didn't really enter the calculation. But they were asked for one thing, to be careful and to not hurt others if they pleased. Like, All Might, who was talking to them, basically said, "Oh yes, the principal of the school also asked me to tell you, young Midoriya, in Deku's letter, and in Bakugo's letter, young Bakugo, to please refrain from using both quirks at once when training or using them in front of other students, since it could harm them." When they first arrived to UA, they were told the exact same thing by a teacher that was waiting at the gate to welcome them. Basically, making a few students wonder, what did they do? Because literally, a teacher was waiting for them, called Izuku Midoriya and Itsuki Bakugo, and then told them to be careful using their quirks to not harm other students. When they reached Class 1A, everyone were over them because you scored the most points, both of you are amazing, and Ochako's once again saying thank you to Deku. Bakugo had went to his seat first and just acted like he was going to fall asleep, basically closing his eyes and pulling himself back a bit, and didn't want to give a shit about the other students. While Deku was basically just asking Ochako if she was okay now. Since he knew Recovery Girl, he knew that any damage she would have that wasn't, permanent was at least healed, but, you never know. When Aizawa entered, basically the same exact conversation as in canon happened, which made them have to go outside for Aizawa's test. Nobody will be removed from Class 1A, even though I like to remove Mineta from time to time, because I actually have a plan for a few of them. No, it does not entail more Linked Soul, though there will be more, but not important for now. And yes, no, it's not foreshadowing, I'm telling it. There will be more Linked Soul, just not in Class 1A. So, I should say not in UA, to be more precise. But anyways. I just doubt myself now. I don't remember. I know I planned for a few more, but now I don't remember where they were. I'm gonna have to re-see my notes for that. Anyways, let's just say that everyone did about the same except for Izuku and Bakugo, who went above and beyond. Deku and Bakugo, on every test, used everything they had without harming themselves, and reached about equal level of abilities and distance and strengths and everything. which was annoying both of them. And basically, the difference they had was like, let's say, the jumping distance. They had 0.3 of difference for that. Bakugo having more, thanks to his explosions. And physical strength, Deku had about 2 points more, thanks to him having the actual one for all and pushing himself by an extra point, which did make his hand a bit numb, but nothing too bad, which pissed off Bakugo and not doing the same thing. And you get the point. The ball throw, which Deku did before everyone else, since he was the one with the most points, he basically did the same thing as when both him and Bakugo destroyed the giant robots. One for all, explosions, throw. It's about double as what they had in canon for both of them, which yes means Deku had more than Bakugo still. And now I'm extremely sorry, but my throat is dead. So this is a short video. Pretty sure I'm mostly pissed off about a few things though, so I'm gonna try to get back to you in a week or two in the weekend. If I can't, I'm sorry, but I do promise that I'm gonna try and make videos more often. Hope you liked it. Natsu, out.